How's it going, everyone? As we are getting deeper into the summer, generally speaking, it can be a relatively quiet time for new game releases, but gotta say, quite a lot of titles this week that I do have a vested interest in. Most notably, we do have two major free game releases. Now, generally speaking, free-to-plays aren't the type of games that really fancy my interest a lot of the times. However, with two particular games this week, they are fairly major. We have a big JRPG coming out, another RPG, a big expansion, and a couple of smaller scale games to be on the lookout for as well. But let's get right into it, and let's kick things off with what I think is the biggest game release of the week. That is, of course, the big free-to-play title from Nexon in the First Descendant. First Descendant is a game that I've been looking forward to for quite a while, and now it's finally coming out. Now, this is a game that has a lot of interest right now, and with live service free-to-play titles, we always say sustainability is the name of the game, but they've already outlined what their post-launch plan is for the game, and so far, at least in the early stages, it is looking pretty promising in terms of its content rollout. The game's gonna drop on July 2nd, totally free-to-play. Preloads are live right now, so I'd highly recommend you to jump on that. Fingers crossed that we don't have any, we didn't expect the level of interest that this game was gonna have, and these servers cannot handle it. Hopefully none of that will be happening, but you know, you can never really predict that. I would be prepared for it because I could totally imagine something like that going down. But right now they have outlined what their content plan is. Come August the 1st, we'll get a content update, and then come September, we'll get Season 1 kicking off. With July 2nd's official release, pre-season will kick off with that, and then the first official season will be happening in September, and those seasons will be happening in 3-month windows, and they will be adding new content, new descendants, new bosses, and new areas for you to sink your teeth into. Now, if you don't know what the game is, the First Descendant is a third-person looter shooter powered by Unreal Engine 5. Become a Descendant, and becoming a Descendant is a big component of the game. You have a wide variety of Descendants to play as. By the way, that is going to be one of the content updates that'll regularly be rolling out with every season. Descendants have unique abilities to tackle both solo and co-op missions. Up to 4 players use varied mechanics to defeat giant bosses. Be the First Descendant. Totally free to play, and you can experience the fun of strategic boss fights through 4-player co-op and various unique characters. Exciting gunplay, looting, a variety of equipment is necessary for growth, and you can obtain them through clearing scenario missions within the game or in the world missions where cooperation is crucial and battles with huge bosses are to be had. The players become a descendant in the game and is given a mission to fight against the invaders for the survival of humans and to protect the Ingress continent. The player can experience a spectacular story by growing stronger through various missions and stories to finally discover the Descendants' secret. You can also feel the First Descendants' unique atmosphere through high-quality fields developed with Unreal Engine 5 and gain a new experience of reality and science fiction fantasy coexisting in one place. Charming and unique characters throughout, the Descendants have a lot of depth to them. You can play various characters with distinctive concepts and battle styles. We plan to add various customizable elements such as skins for each character to support character decoration, exciting battles, and dynamic action using of various skills and firearms. Experience the First Descendant's exciting battles composed of various characters with unique skill sets, free movements, and chain actions through grappling hooks, colorful firearms, and additional effects. Battles with huge boss monsters through cooperative play and motivating play and growth, and they are noting that the endgame is a big focus for the game. And they are saying that there's a big focus on the endgame content, which obviously for a game like this is absolutely paramount. First Descendant drops on July the 2nd. Remember, the preload is live right now, totally free to play on both PS4 and PS5. Try to get a group of friends to play with, and you should have a good time with that come release. Alright, next up, another major free-to-play release. We have from Hoyoverse, Zenless Zone Zero, another major free game release that is going to have a lot of interest, and I would say a little bit more predictable as far as how it's going to do. Given Hoyoverse's track record, the people that are into these games are going to be super into them, and the game is set in the near future. A mysterious natural disaster known as Hollows has occurred. A new kind of city has emerged in this disaster-ridden world of New Eridu. This last oasis has mastered the technology to coexist with Hollows and is home to a whole host of the chaotic, boisterous, dangerous, and very active factions. As a professional proxy, you play a crucial role in linking the city and the Hollows. Your story awaits. Build your squad and and fight fast-paced battles, Zenless Zone Zero is an all-new 3D action game from Hoyoverse, here to provide a thrilling combat experience. Build a squad of up to 3 and begin your assault with basic and special attacks, dodge and parry to neutralize your opponent's counterattacks, and when they're stunned, unleash a powerful combo of chain attacks to finish them off. Immerse yourself in the unique style and music, and various factions and stories will intertwine throughout. Zenless Zone Zero is scheduled for its official release on July the 3rd. So those are the two major free-to-play games. I know some of you guys don't want to check out free-to-play titles, but those two I think are going to have a lot of interest, and a lot of people are going to be checking those games out come this week. Alright, moving on to some games that you do have to pay money for. Right off the top, we have The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. This is one that I am incredibly excited for. However, while Trails Through Daybreak is kicking off a new arc for Legend of Heroes, keep in mind that it would be, it would be recommended that you play the other Legend of Heroes games. Now, with me saying that, oh, how many games is that you gotta play? Well, you gotta play all 3 games in the Trails in the Sky trilogy, which, by the way, isn't available on PlayStation 4 or 5. You can dig up your old PlayStation Vita and play them on there, but seriously, any low-end PC is gonna be able to run those games no problem. You have the Crossbell games, which is Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure. So that brings us to 5 games. And then, you have the Cold Steel games. There's 4 Cold Steel titles, Cold Steel 1, 2, 3, and 4. That brings you to 9 games. Oh, and last year you had the release of Trails into Reverie. So that's a total of 10 games that I would recommend you to play through before getting to Trails Through Daybreak. Now, is it absolutely mandatory to play all those games? Maybe not. You can look up a recap on YouTube or something like that, but, that's what I would recommend. I would recommend you to actually play all those games. Those games are great. But again, Trails Through Daybreak does start a new arc with new characters and everything like that, taking place in the same world. Incredibly excited for this new arc to kick off, and it looks great, and it seems like this is going to be one a lot of people do enjoy. We'll see how Trails Through Daybreak does as this new arc kicks off July 5th. Next up, we have Fate Seeker 2. Fate Seeker 2 is a lower-key RPG release that really came out of nowhere in terms of the game getting translated and everything like that. Following the previous Fate Seeker title, Fate Seeker 2 has you experience real-time combat with depth. It's definitely a lower-scale RPG. We'll see how it turns out as Fate Seeker 2 is scheduled to drop on July the 4th. Next up, now this game and expansion is essentially out at this point. Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail has dropped, and if you pre-order the game, you get early access. Kind of an interesting way to do the early access gimmick by just tying it to pre-orders, which is you buy the game and it's live right now. That's literally what it is, at least from how I'm interpreting it. Final Fantasy XIV isn't something that I am super into these days, but it is the most popular or the best received MMORPG on the planet right now, and the turnaround that Final Fantasy XIV has been able to make over the last several years is remarkable. I remember playing Final Fantasy XIV on the PlayStation 3 when that version came out, and even before then, Final Fantasy XIV really got started as the initial pre-Realm Reborn version on PC, and obviously that was received incredibly poorly, and the turnaround, this is the greatest turnaround in video game history. I don't think anybody can really make an argument for anything else. Sure, you can look at titles like No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk. It doesn't measure up to what Final Fantasy XIV has been able to accomplish from a game that was legitimately a disaster in so many regards to now becoming the best received, the most popular MMO on the market. I don't think you can really quantify how big of a success it is and how remarkable it is that it's been able to make this turnaround. And Dawntrail kicking off a new arc for Final Fantasy XIV as well. Officially out July the 2nd, but again, if you do pre-order, you can play that right now. Next up, we have Scholar's Mate. Scholar's Mate is an immersive first-person horror escape room experience that puts you in the shoes of Judith, a young woman who wakes up in the gloomy facilities of a psychiatric hospital. You must escape from this macabre place by solving mysteries while avoiding capture by Eddie, your sinister hunter. Scholar's Mate is due out on July the 4th. Next up, we have Bleak Faith Forsaken. Now, Bleak Faith Forsaken is a game that released on PC a while back. Another Souls-like here. Let's be real, it's not gonna be something at the scale of a From Software Souls-like, but some of you guys are into these lower-key Souls-like titles. It notes, explore the last remnants of civilization in this vast, unforgiving, and interconnected world. Learn what is left of its history. Discover pockets of natural life in the perpetually expanding omni-structure. Lose yourself in a journey unlike any other. Find your purpose in the world as well. Bleak Faith Forsaken is due out on PlayStation 4 and 5 on July the 5th. And lastly, we have Cyber Citizen Shockman 0. A new mysterious enemy threatens the world once again. Only one hero can save the world. Shockman joined bionic heroes as they face all kinds of dangerous enemies to save humanity. A Cyber Citizen Shockman 0 will be out on July 5th. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, a lot of notable releases this week, definitely highlighted by First Descendant, Zenless Zone Zero, and for my JRPG heads out there, Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak is incredibly exciting, but yeah, just a little bit of a daunting task to get caught up, but it does start a new story arc, so take that how you will. Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail is huge as well, and a couple of smaller scale releases to round things out. That's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.